Oh, sweet land of liberty, where the Democrat Party isn't just a tumor. Nah, it's a full-blown metastasizing malignancy that got the whole body politic scratching its rashy bits and wondering, why does this itch feel like it's sponsored by George Soros's satanic piggy bank? Because, picture it, in a healthy republic, white blood cells, those plucky little freedom fighters, spot the bad cells and they go full Rambo, boom, zapping them with tiny American flags, stabbing them through the nucleus. But nope, not in today's Democrat petri dish. Guys, as we get started, just thumb up the video. Just give it a thumbs up right now for the algorithm. Leave me a comment, and if you're new, subscribe. I'm not going to tell you this started in 2020, but the disease really picked up steam because the Democrats literally they bailed out rioters in Minnesota who were arrested, not for just standing around. No, they encouraged the riots that destroyed billions of dollars in property, demolished small businesses.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that.
Assaulted many people, killed people, and destroyed the relationship that many have with the police, with the whole defund the police nonsense. So you have the advancement of BLM and Antifa, and you create this ultra-toxic environment that today celebrates Luigi Mangione's murder of a healthcare exec. He shot the dude in the back on the streets of New York City, and they call what was once a cowardly act, they turn him into a hero. They celebrate him. And to boot, all these same leaders that encouraged the riots in 2020, not one of them outright condemned the horrific murder. Not Kamala, not Schumer, not AOC, not President Joe Biden at the time. And these little cancer cells start throwing parties for this pathogen that took a life of someone he didn't even know. He's a celebrity today amongst the left with murals depicting the growing malignancy of Team Blue. This, of course, sets the stage for Charlie Kirk getting whacked. They literally took out the immune system on the other side, working for America, that was combating this malignancy with words and ideas. But he was too effective, too good of a person, so some evil leftist trans furry lover takes him out, thinking in this acidic environment that even if he gets caught, he'll get Luigi cult status and be labeled a hero, live on in infamy. And what happens in Congress? In response, almost 100 House Democrats waddle onto the floor like caffeinated slugs and either vote nah on honoring the guy or hit abstain faster than a vegan at a bacon festival. Cancer cells are high-fiving, with AOC on the House floor justifying the action and her vote. And then you can just cut over to Jay Jones, the Democrat dreamboat who's basically confessed to a fanfic where he plays the villain in Home Alone Attorney General Edition, complete with bullets for his political opponent and his children, as well as hoping police take a couple of slugs to the chest, the very ones that are supposed to be reporting to him in the near future, because that is how, at least according to him, you get people to change their political minds and views. Very antithetical to the approach that Charlie Kirk took, by the way. So you ask yourself, for certain in a sane society, in a environment which cleanses itself, he's going to lose a ton of endorsements. That's not the Democrat Party today. They're like, endorsements? We endorse therapy for the kids who survive. There's almost zero fallout on the Democrat side. Zilch. It's like Jeffrey Dahmer ran for office and the DNC got behind it and handed him a most improved chef plaque. Meanwhile, flip the script to some concerned red state parent who has the audacity to swear at a PTA meeting for teaching black kids that they're victims and all whites are oppressors. And MSNBC's got a 24/7 vigil with Anderson Cooper weeping into his latte, all demanding every Republican from the Pope to your Uncle Bob condemn it or face the guillotine of public shaming. But oh, the media, that sniveling house elf to the Soros Foundation and whatever shadowy Beijing brunch club is footing the bill for them, they give Jones's murder fantasy monologue the airtime of a fart in a hurricane, while pivoting, of course, to January 6th, like it's the only riot since the Boston Tea Party, which, fun fact, involved actual tea, not just performance outrage. No white blood cells in sight to help alleviate the mess. Just a bunch of blue check enablers sweeping it under the rug because nothing to see here. And I have a fond memory of the ACLU. I heard that back in the 1970s, these free speech samurai defended Nazis, marching through Skokie, home to Holocaust survivors, like it was a constitutional wet dream. Let them goose step. Words are weapons, but suppression of them is the real fascism. Today, they've pivoted harder than a politician who got caught in Epstein's blackmail on his island. Today, they're suing conservatives into the Stone Age for the crime of existing, turning protect the marginalized into marginalize the protectors. Cancer has got the spleen now, and the funny bone, since nothing's funny anymore when you're on the blue team. And the amplification of the cancer is performance art by leftists in Silicon Valley. Google's basically the SPLC's megaphone on steroids. They show up first in your search results. AI is trained based on their database. So what do you think they're saying about Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA, even post his horrific murder? White supremacists. That's what the Southern Poverty Law Center says. That poverty-stricken hate factory masquerading as a watchdog. You know, because nothing screams Nazi like a bunch of college kids handing out pocket constitutions. For leftists, that is considered to be hate speech, I guess. And yet, the SPLC amplified, algorithmically blessed, and served up with your cat videos. Thank you, big tech. And now we flash to the streets. Democrat politicos in Illinois, California, Oregon. You know what I'm talking about, the progressive paradises that exist around America where you can catch people smoking fentanyl while they break into your home and squat, where the potholes are deeper than the state's pension funds. These politicos are cheering on the Antifa goons as they play human piñata with ICE agents. Do they thwart the violence against them? Do they decry the assassination attempts on the feds that have come several times already? That's just mostly peaceful resistance, baby. So now I want to come to an important point about this, because during the Biden times, Texas tried to create a border fence. And what did the Biden Department of Justice do? They sued faster than a Kardashian divorces. Federal prerogative, y'all. They cried, and guess what? They won in court. The court has decided and set precedent that the feds have sole discretion and power over immigration enforcement. Cool. Precedent set. Note taken. Because when the reins of power switch over to the other team, they're calling ICE, Gestapo, Nazis, breaker of families, and making up stories about putting kids in handcuffs in the Windy City, which turned out to be a video of a Chicago policeman playing cops and robbers with his son.
I want you to really break this down to me like I'm 10 years old and tell me why ICE agents zip tying black babies in Chicago, because I can't for the life of me understand why this happened.
Picture, which is my video of me and my son playing cops and robbers.
Go bucket.
Literally, this is us.
But they ignore all that because why let truth ruin the narrative? And the media, the Democrats, they're out calling an MS-13 gang member. You remember our old pal, Mr. Abrego Garcia? To refresh your memory, the wife beater, the human trafficker who was set for deportation, the known gangbanger. They're calling him a Maryland man over and over again.
A Maryland man thought to be wrongly deported.
Maryland man Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
A Maryland man wrongfully deported.
A Maryland man who was mistakenly deported.
The Maryland man that was detained.
The Maryland man mistakenly deported.
Intentionally deceiving the public into believing that Trump is deporting actual American citizens. But sure, they hold themselves out as the decent ones. The hypocrisy, my friends, is so thick you could spread it on toast and call it woke butter. So, what do you guys think is the chemotherapy cocktail for this fast-growing, Frankenstein-like tumor? Because Trump swings his executive scalpel and bam, lefty judges in robes that probably cost more than my car pop up like whack-a-moles and block him with rulings so unlawful that the Supreme Court facepalms each and every single time because they're going to have to waste their time to adjudicate against them. But they're just trying to hold Trump up. So what does he do? What do we do as a nation? Do we go like Bukele in El Salvador and impeach them all? I think that would be a decent answer. But watch the Democrats unleash their chaos circus because you would have riots in every single blue city. CNN would be screaming Dictator Dawn louder than they did in 2020 when he was still just Orange Man bad. The Soros money would rain down like confetti at a funeral to pay for all of the legal bills and the resistance. So, do we slow roll it with education, re-indoctrinate the kids, teach them that liberty is incredibly valuable before the indoctrination apps like TikToks teach the opposite? Yuri Bezmenov called it in the 1980s ideological subversion. This is what TikTok, the leftists, China, what they're doing. The steps are demoralization, destabilization, crisis, and then once that is accomplished, you have a strong man that normalizes the new authoritarian commie government. We're in the trans the toddlers and torch the Bill of Rights phase. So, either the cancer wins and America becomes a sad sack socialist spa with open borders for everyone, vomiting in fentanyl-fueled hordes. Kids swapping pronouns for a different pronoun. Wait, my bad, because that's already happening. Free speech becomes deader than disco, and property rights flee to Argentina or some United Arab Emirate yacht commune. The producers, those who create stuff that keep the country going, they're going to bail. Network states are going to splinter off like bad tattoos, tiny little islands of liberty in a sea of soy latte socialism. Or the other option is Civil War 2.0, where some strong man grabs the IV drip of authoritarianism, nukes the institutions from orbit, and it's the only way, just to be sure, and chemos the progressive pus pockets out. Collateral damage? Oh, you betcha. The whole damn body politic limps away scarred and hopefully still alive. Either way, stars and stripes, it's a crapshoot. So you know what? Pass the popcorn and maybe a hazmat suit, because this cancer has got us by the ballot box and is laughing all the way to The Hague. God bless America and all you crazy people living in it, or at least the parts that still remember what liberty and freedom actually mean.